Hey Davis, what's going on, buddy? So tonight, I kind of found a book that's really serious, yeah. And so I'm sure at some point you probably asked yourself, like why Daddy has to continue to come over here and be away from you and from your brothers and your sisters and from mommy. And I think this book kind of explains like kind of what happened. One day and like why our country has sent us over here to kind of protect everybody, right? So anyway, the name of the book is called Fireboat, and I think it's going to be a good story, and I think we're really going to have to pay attention to the lesson it's teaching us though, okay? Alright buddy, you ready to get started? Let's see here. Fireboat, the heroic adventures of the John J. Harvey. New York City, 1931. Amazing things were happening, big and small. The Empire State Building went up, up, up. Babe Ruth hit his 611th home run in Yankee Stadium. The tasty candy treat Snickers hit the stores. This is all in 1931. The George Washington Bridge was suspended elegantly across the mighty Hudson River. Champion Pendley Calling of Blarney won Best in Show at the Westminster Kennel Club. On a hot and jazzy night, the word hotcha was invented. I'm sure Mom can probably say that better than Daddy can. And on a sunny, fresh day, the John J. Harvey Fireboat was launched. There were 12 fireboats in New York City. The Harvey was the largest, fastest, and shiniest fireboat of them all. It had 5 diesel engines, so it could go 20 miles per hour. That's pretty fast. 8 pipes that could shoot 16,000 gallons of water per minute. That's equal to about 20 fire trucks. A control dial in the pilot's cabin. Many brass nozzles housed in the gold room. A very nice can of oil to oil all the squeaks. Ropes called lines, and lots of levers, buttons, and buckets. There was a pilot and a crew ready in 2 minutes to fight the fires. They were a brave group. And there was a dog named Smokey who did not put out the fires, but he had many nice spots. The Harvey went up and down the river fighting fires. It fought fires at the bustling piers. The piers were the places where ships and trains brought all manner of merchandise to be sold in the city, like wood and cotton and bananas and bubble gum and everything. It fought the fire of the great ocean liner Normandy. Sometimes the Harvey just went out to shoot water in celebration. Many years passed. A new captain had come on board, Bob Lenny. He and his crew fought many fires, but New York was changing. The Twin Towers were now the tallest buildings in New York City. The piers were closing. 1995. The city no longer needed so many fireboats. The Harvey was considered old and useless. It sat in the water for 5 years, waiting to be sold for scrap. And then a very surprising thing happened. A group of friends were eating at a restaurant called Florent. They had heard about the fireboat and decided something. Let's save the Harvey. Let's buy her. Everyone needs a fireboat. We don't put out fires. We'll just have fun. And they did. They took it to the cattle ship repair yard in Staten Island. Even there they said, she is old. It will be hard to fix her. But the owner said, fix. So they fixed beautifully. They repaired the 2 propellers, making them new with a shiny coat of brass. Brass does not rust. They repaired the holes with steel plates and covered the places where the rivets wept. They scraped barnacles and seaweed off the hull and painted her with a shiny coat of red paint. And once again, the Harvey was on the water. Tim, the engineer, keeping things running smoothly. Jessica, the assistant engineer, at the controls in the noisy engine room. Andrew welding. Chase helping John fixing, Tom cooking, and Bob Lenny watching over everyone and being very proud. But then on September 11th, 2001, something so huge and horrible happened that the whole world shook. It was 8:45 in the morning, another beautiful and sunny day. 2 airplanes crashed into the Twin Towers. They crashed into these 2 strong buildings. The sky filled with fire and smoke. The buildings exploded and fell down to the ground. Many people were hurt and many lives were lost. The news spread. The city had been attacked. Everyone was terrified, but people were brave. The entire city sprang into action. Firefighters and police officers and doctors and construction workers and teachers and cooks and children and parents. The mayor was strong. He said, "We will all work together. We will not be broken." What were the people of the Harvey doing when the planes hit? Bob Lenny was trimming hedges. Tom was drinking tea in his kitchen. Chase was walking his dog Radar. Tim was reading the paper. Andrew was welding. Jessica was writing a story. Huntley was reading at David Copperfield. John was working. The Harvey was snoozing at the pier. They all had one thought: get to the Harvey. And they did. They called the fire department. John J. Harvey, ready to help. How can we help? The answer came. You can help fight the fire, but you can't help fight the fire, but you can ferry people to safety. But suddenly an urgent message came loud and clear. John J. Harvey, where are you? We need you. We need you. The water pipes were broken and buried, and the fire trucks that had raced to the scene could not pump water. The firefighters attached hoses to the Harvey. The Harvey fought the fires alongside the McKean and the firefighters. For 4 days and nights, the Harvey pumped water. The crew took turns sleeping. People brought supplies, like fuel and sweaters, gloves, pizza, sandwiches, and coffee. They worked and cried. They fought the fire until it was under control. Finally, it was time for the Harvey to go home. Everyone on the boat had never seen anything so terrible, and they had never felt so proud. The Harvey was a hero, and everyone knew it. The Harvey had won an important award, and at the ceremony the audience cheered and some even cried. Now the Twin Towers are gone. Something new has been built. The heroes who died will be remembered forever. The Harvey is back to being a very happy boat, not scrapped, not useless, not forgotten, a proud and plucky friend. And all that's left to say is, Hacha. Wait a minute, there is something more to say. The friends of the Harvey have found a little tugboat to adopt. Doesn't everyone need a tugboat? All right. Well, that was a good book, but I think it had a really good message about how we all have a purpose, buddy. Yeah, even the Harvey had a purpose, and luckily those people saw that purpose so that it could be used for the fire. And they talked about those buildings coming down, buddy. Those were some really bad people that did a really, really bad thing. And many people got hurt and killed, but that's the reason that daddies had to have been gone for so long, so many times, buddy, is we all have to do our part. We all have a purpose. And my purpose is to be here right now and to do my part, right? So that hopefully one day you don't have to, and Mackie doesn't have to, and Holden doesn't have to come over here and do this anymore, right? But anyway, in the book they talked about, something else being built. What they did, when the Twin Towers came down, a beautiful new building has come up there, right? And in that building, they remember all the people that were hurt and killed during that time, right? And so I think you hear Daddy talk about loving firefighters so much, and firefighters and policemen, they're a lot like Daddy, right? They put their lives on the line to keep you safe, right? So anyway, next time you see a firefighter, make sure you give him a high five and tell him thank you. Daddy loves you so much, buddy. Hope you have a good night. I'll talk to you later.